From News 3 Now, this is breaking news.
Our breaking news at 4 right now. The driver accused of killing 17-year-old Sasha Rosen in Madison has been charged with second-degree reckless homicide.
51-year-old Kathleen Borgwart was booked into the Dane County Jail Monday morning after a crash on South Park Street that killed Rosen while he was on his way to school. Video evidence showed that speed was a significant factor in the crash. In a criminal complaint, police say Borgwart was traveling at about 62 miles per hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. She faces 25 years in prison and up to $100,000 in fines. Borgwart is scheduled to appear in court March 30th.
Also developing right now, the Rock County Sheriff's Office has arrested a caregiver for nearly 24 counts of abuse and neglect. On January 23rd, the Sheriff's Office was called regarding a possible battery to a disabled adult by a caregiver. Deputies looked at surveillance video which suggested there were multiple offenses. They found probable cause to arrest 49-year-old Toyo Perez of Beloit. After reviewing that video evidence, Perez has been charged now with 10 counts of intentionally subjecting someone at risk to abuse, causing bodily harm. Also 10 counts of intentionally abusing or neglecting a patient or resident by a facility employee causing bodily harm. Perez will be in court tomorrow at 3.
In Middleton, a student has been arrested after reportedly bringing a weapon to the high school today. The Middleton Cross Plains School District says that a student was in possession of a CO2-powered air pistol as a replica gun that shoots small metal or plastic pellets. Staff says there is no threat to the school.
Well, overnight in the weather, we saw some showers, even a few thunderstorms.
And now the story of the day is wind and fire risk for southern Wisconsin.
That's right. First Warn Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us. And what is the story now?
Story is changing now from the wildfire risk. That's going to ease up tonight as winds ease on up and temperatures cool on down into the 20s. Now our attention turns to that next weather system that we've been talking about for the better part of 10 days. And alert day conditions I started talking about last night are definitely in the cards here as we head into the Thursday overnight period. Going into Friday morning, we're keeping an eye on a band where several inches of wet, heavy snow will likely set up across parts of southern Wisconsin. Right now, the best chances look to be north and west of Madison, but that chance extends from the La Crosse area clear to Madison. The midline, the area that has the best chance between La Crosse and Madison right now, as I mentioned yesterday, Prairie du Chien up towards Richland Center, up towards the Dells. But we're keeping a very close eye on this because this weather system has a lot of water in it, and when you've got a weather system that has a lot of water and temperatures getting down into the lower 30s, it can punch out quite a bit of snow over a short distance. So we're keeping a very close eye again on the track of this weather system. Temperatures tonight, 20s to right around 30, although some low 20s can't be ruled out in some of those low-lying areas like the Wisconsin River Valley. High temperatures as we move into Thursday also help to tell the story. Only around 40 to the north and west. That's still above normal. Up towards Camp Douglas and the Adams area. Right around 50 in Madison, and then near 50 towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Now, when I come back in a few minutes, we'll use Future Track to show you this weather system that's going to have a whole range of different weather types as it moves through southern Wisconsin Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, going on into Friday morning. You want to see that projection using Future Track when I come back in a little bit.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. This week, Madison police sent out an incident report warning residents of an increase in car thefts.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks joins us now with a more in-depth look into the trend.
Madison police say there was a spike in car thefts. I sat down with the department to find out what they're doing to reverse that trend. From January of last year to January of 2026, there's been a 19% increase in car thefts. 37 cars were stolen, and the map on your screen provided by MPD shows the location of each of the thefts. The department says 60% of them happened on the east or the north side of Madison.
We're doing, just extra patrols in the areas where we are seeing these increases, the neighborhoods and, specifically the streets. Then we're also doing, extra patrols in the areas where these cars are being dropped off and abandoned. The department also says that Hyundai and Kia cars are the most targeted, a trend seen nationwide. And Fryer tells me that Madison police is assigning detectives to each of the auto thefts. For now, reporting on Madison's east side, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jalen. A Madison couple accused in a multi-county poisoning plot are scheduled to go to trial next year. The trial of Paul Van Dyne and Andrea Whitaker in Rock County is scheduled for March 29th next year. It's scheduled to last a full month. Van Dyne and Whitaker are also charged in Dane County, but their trial dates there have not been set yet. The couple is accused of using chemicals, including cyanide, to try to poison women who Van Dyne had previously been on dates with. Governor Evers is calling to end partisan gerrymandering in Wisconsin. Now, gerrymandering is when electoral districts' boundaries are redrawn and manipulated in a way to give a political party an advantage.
Our political reporter Ellie LaLiberte joins us now in the studio. And Ellie, how does the governor want to end gerrymandering?
Well, Sarah, the governor wants to end gerrymandering by amending our state's constitution. Now, 2 years ago, Governor Evers signed new maps into law. However, before that, Wisconsin's maps were some of the most gerrymandered in the country. But ending gerrymandering isn't as simple as just approving a change. To get a constitutional amendment on the ballot for voters to approve, it has to pass the legislature in 2 consecutive sessions.
So Evers is sort of, it's interesting to me, he's sort of making a statement. The ordinary political process and the ordinary judicial process and the ordinary lawmaking process in Wisconsin simply cannot be relied upon to save us from this, in his view, threat to democracy. And if you Wisconsinites agree with me that this is a threat to democracy, then the only way we can protect ourselves is by putting it into the Constitution.
To get the amendment taken up this year, the governor announced he will call the legislature into a special session. This is because the assembly is set to adjourn for the year at the end of the week. The governor has the authority to call a special session, but he can't dictate what that looks like. Now, in the past, when Governor Evers has called a session, Republican leadership will just gavel in and out in a matter of seconds. But in his speech last night, the governor added he won't hesitate to bring the legislature back into session later in the year as well.
Thank you, Ellie. A coalition of health and environmental groups, including Clean Wisconsin, are suing the Environmental Protection Agency. The lawsuit challenges the rescinding of the endangerment finding, and that determined carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases threaten public health and welfare. That finding is the basis of nearly all climate regulations. A repeal now eliminates greenhouse gas emission standards for cars and trucks and could expand to power plants and other fossil fuel facilities. President Trump calls this the largest deregulatory action in U.S. history, while critics say it undermines the stability of federal climate regulations.
Well, now to your spring primary election results. We've had our eyes on several key races, including the race to fill Supreme Court Justice Susan Crawford's former circuit court seat. In the April election, incumbent Ben Jones will face off against Fitchburg immigration attorney Huma Hassan in that primary. And then in the race for Dane County District 12 supervisor, incumbent Tommy Rylander will face Sean Burke.
Representing Western Dane County in District 28, incumbent Michelle Doolin and challenger Nathan McCree will be on the ballot. For District 15, representing Madison's West Side and parts of Middleton, incumbent Amy Larson will be on the ballot with challenger Nino Amato. To find out more about those races and others in our area, you can download our news app. Just search Channel 3000 in your app store.
Next on Live at 4, Josh is in the 608 with an event showcasing Madison's food scene, all while helping raise money for a local school.
And then researchers are issuing a stark warning about the future of artificial intelligence around the world, how they say it could be a concern for the future of humanity.
And later on, Lisa Briggs with the Bruce Company is here in studio to answer your plant questions. Please send those questions to tips@channel3000.com.
And Alex is back with the first warn forecast and a week of just about every kind of weather. What's driving fire risks today and when snow could be making its comeback.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome back. In the 608 today, a special event designed to showcase Madison's food scene is also raising money for a school and its students.
Food and a good cause.
Yeah.
What more could you want? Josh Sprider has a story from Edgewood High School.
We're talking about Delish, a huge event for Edgewood High School, and it's all in giving back to their students. We're going to start with Kevin Ray, the president here at Edgewood High School. Kevin, good to see you. Thanks for having us out.
Oh, thanks for being here. Always a pleasure.
So Delish is a huge event for you, and what is it all about?
Yeah, so we were founded by the coolest sisters on the planet, the Dominican Sisters of Sinsinawa, and their priority, which is our priority, is to be open to all in Madison. So we give away approximately $1 million a year in financial assistance to 41% of families at Edgewood. And Delish is all about bringing the entire community together for a great cause to help our students be the best versions of themselves so that we can serve the entire Madison community.
So right now, tickets are available for Saturday's event. It's happening at the Orpheum this year, which is new.
Yeah, the team did a wonderful job identifying the Orpheum. We're really excited to be there downtown. Go Crusaders.
And that's really what it's all about, is getting the community involved as well. And that's where Chef Diego comes in. Diego, you're from both Everly and Highway 1. Right. What is it like for you to be part of an event like this?
Well, it's very excited because our community is very important to us at Everly and Highway 1. And Edgewood is a big part of the Monroe Street community. And they have a long history on supporting us and the whole Monroe Street. So for us, it's very excited to be at their fundraiser on Saturday.
Love that. And you prepared a little dish for us today. What do we have here?
So we have a Lori Nachos here. So this is a dish, one of the most popular at our newer restaurant and right here in Monroe Street. So we have chips. We have so a very important thing to it is we made everything from the scratch. We made 6 flavor salsas. So we have chips, beans, we have queso, Monterey jack cheese, we have jalapenos, pico jalapenos, we have guacamole, sour cream, and we have pollo asado. Everything is, like I said, made it from scratch. And it's very, very delicious.
Oh, it looks good. And I mean, it's so cool because you're getting so many different partners in this project.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and we've increased the number this year. So my favorite part is having our celebrity chefs also work alongside our students together so that they can learn together.
And you have a lot of your culinary club students a part of this as well. So it's kind of an opportunity for them to maybe get inspired about what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, we're a learning entity first and foremost, so it's wonderful to have the ability for our culinary students to learn from the best in Madison.
All right, so people can get their tickets right now. What do they need to know?
Yeah, go online and buy as many tickets, bring the whole family, and we'd love to see you at the Orpheum.
Yeah, 7 to 11 o'clock on Saturday night. We have that link up on channel3000.com as well. Kevin, Diego, thank you so much for being here today. If you'd like to learn more, again, you can go up to our website. In Madison, I'm Josh Spreiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh, for making us hungry. We can also watch Josh every weekend morning and noon right here on News 3 Now.
Oh, a snack would be nice. Well, to our weather now. Wind, rain, snow, and even some thunderstorms are some of the things that we're seeing this week. Alex is here with the first warn forecast. So what's winter going to throw at us next?
All of the same things all over again. Wind, more thunderstorm chances, rain, and the potential for alert day conditions as we head into Friday for accumulating snow Friday morning during that early Friday morning commute. This is what we're up against here, this possible alert day conditions. I started mentioning this yesterday. This is going to be Thursday overnight through Friday morning, and what we're looking at is a potential for several inches of wet, heavy snow across parts of southern Wisconsin, with the best chance for Madison and areas towards the north and towards the west, as it looks like right now. But weather models have been wobbling with this band, and it's a narrow band, which makes it tough to track. But let's use FutureTrack to get a glimpse of how this may pan out. Scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms breaking out as we head into Thursday evening and overnight. But look at from areas Madison and west towards Lone Rock, Camp Douglas, Mineral Point, Boscobel, changing over to heavy wet snow as we move into the early morning hours of Friday. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it turns over to all heavy wet snow, but it moves through rather quickly from Madison areas towards the east. May see less in the way of snow accumulation from this slushy kind. Areas north and west in Madison have that better chance for some of that accumulating snow. Right now, that band looks as though it's going to set up somewhere from Madison areas to the north and towards the west. I eyed up yesterday, Prairie du Chien to Richland Center to the Dells. You're right in the middle of this potential band, but that band could shift as far northwest as La Crosse or as far southeast as Madison. So it is a situation that the First Warn Weather Team are keeping a very close eye on, because that band is going to be quite narrow where that wet, heavy snow does set up. Temperatures tonight in the 20s to right around 30 near the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Highs tomorrow telling the scene as well. 40 to the north, near 50 in Madison, perhaps clipping the 50-degree mark or just getting above in Janesville, with some scattered showers and thunderstorms developing by the time we get to the evening hours and then the winds as well. Even though we're not expecting any blowing and drifting of that wet, heavy variety of snow, reduced visibility is not out of the question Friday morning, where that wet, heavy band of snow sets up across southern Wisconsin. Again, lows tonight in the 20s and highs tomorrow in the 40s to near 50 before the temperatures take a crash as we head towards Friday going into the weekend. But those temperatures are normal once we get into the weekend with quiet conditions.
All right, thank you, Alex. Coming up on Live at 4, we're learning how the Future Farmers of America is impacting student lives nearly 100 years after its founding.
And the Madison Metropolitan School District is changing how a bus stop operates after a student was killed there earlier this month.
Then one of the world's most prominent tech billionaires is testifying in a landmark case regarding social media addiction.
Plus, both sides are digging in over a long fight over DHS funding on Capitol Hill. As the days drag into weeks, how could the partial shutdown affect you?
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome back, everyone. Check out the numbers on Wall Street today. Some more slight upward movement. The Dow is up 129 points. The Nasdaq gained 175, and the S&P 500 picked up 38.
It's day 5 of the partial government shutdown, and both sides say the ball to end the impasse is in the other's court.
Erica Brown has more from Capitol Hill.
As the partial government shutdown continues, the White House rebuffed the latest proposal from congressional Democrats to end the stalemate and fund the Department of Homeland Security.
Last night, they sent over a counter proposal that frankly was very unserious, and we hope they get serious very soon because Americans are going to be impacted by this.
Democrats remain firm in their demands for significant reforms to ICE and DHS oversight, including requiring federal agents to get judicial warrants before entering private property and remove masks during operations.
Republicans have decided that they would rather shut down FEMA, shut down TSA, and shut down the Coast Guard than get ICE under control.
So far, negotiations to end the impasse are only taking place among staffers, with Democratic leaders and the president still not engaging in direct talks.
It doesn't mean he's not willing to. I'm just not aware of any conversations that have taken place.
I'm not averse to sitting down with any high-level members of the administration if, in good faith, they're prepared to discuss the type of dramatic changes that are needed.
In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security warned a prolonged shutdown would impact more than 200,000 DHS employees and could lead to disruptions with the TSA, FEMA, and the Coast Guard. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, who issued the statement and has been a forceful defender of President Trump's immigration policies, announced she will be leaving the agency. Sources told CBS News McLaughlin had planned to leave earlier, but delayed her departure in the wake of the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
Hundreds of billions of dollars are flowing into AI, with countries and companies racing to invest. And the newest breakthroughs in artificial intelligence are on display right now at a summit in India, with tech CEOs competing to build super smart systems. However, one top scientist is raising concerns, warning that an arms race risks wiping out humanity.
When you're taking over all cognitive functions, the ability to answer a question, to make a decision, to make a plan, then you are really dehumanizing. Literally, you are turning someone into less than a human being.
University of California, Berkeley professor Stuart Russell says governments around the world need to understand the dangers of AI and make sure that companies develop it safely.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg took the stand in Los Angeles Superior Court today.
In a landmark trial, plaintiffs and their parents allege that social media apps, so Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, are addictive and harmful to kids and teens.
CBS News correspondent Gwen Baumgardner reports from Los Angeles.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg arrived to court in Los Angeles to testify in a social media trial whose outcome could have a sweeping impact. The plaintiff, a woman with the initials KGM, alleges that Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube were intentionally designed to be addictive, with infinite scrolling, autoplay, and recommendation algorithms. At one point on Wednesday, Zuckerberg testified that Instagram has shifted away from time spent on the platform as a goal. The plaintiff's attorney responded, saying when KGM was about 10 years old, the goal was to increase time spent, adding that's what is relevant.
A trial like this one will hopefully uncover the disconnect between what companies say publicly to drive up business and engagement and what is actually going on behind the scenes.
Back outside the courthouse, advocates and family members of those who have struggled with social media's impact held hands in solidarity.
The intention of the company was to prey on teens, use teens' usage, exploit them so they can make greater profits.
In a statement to CBS News, Meta says it strongly disagrees with the allegations, citing its commitment to supporting young people with built-in protections. YouTube parent Google says the allegations in these complaints are simply not true. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
TikTok and Snap have settled the Los Angeles case, while Meta also faces a separate social media-related trial that began last week in New Mexico.
Coming up on Live at 4, the story of a young man who grew up in the foster care system who is now giving back as he builds new housing in Madison.
And several schools in Sauk County are asking for more funding to stay open, how much that shortfall is, and how they plan to go about filling in the space.
Plus, more on the criminal charges against the driver who hit and killed a Madison high school student.
But first, Alex has the first warn forecast when all this wind could calm down and what's following behind it.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for sticking with us on Live at 4. I'm Sarah Carlson, filling in for Susan. She'll be gone this week, and the warm weather seems to be slowly saying
tiptoeing
goodbye.
away. Yeah. Goodbye. It was a nice memory while it lasted. Let's check in with Alex in the first warn forecast. Our weather team is now tracking a system that could be bringing us accumulating snow, Alex.
Yep, we're going from one weather system to the next weather system. We said we would have 2 this week. Strong winds today. We've got more strong winds in the forecast. These winds will ease on up tonight. That will reduce the fire danger across southern Wisconsin. And then we turn attention to weather system number 2 this week. I started mentioning the potential for alert day conditions Thursday overnight going into Friday morning. Yesterday, that still looks like it's going to very likely set up for areas Madison and points to the north and west. It will be a narrow band of heavy wet snow where several inches of slushy snow accumulation are possible. Right now, that could set up between La Crosse to Madison or fill that entire space on the backside of this weather system Thursday night going on into Friday. The area I think is where the most likely line that we'll see the peak of this potential heavy wet snow will be from about Prairie du Chien up through Richland Center, up through the Wisconsin Dells area. But it's a narrow band, and any slight toggle with that weather system is going to shift that band of heavy wet snow north or south across southern Wisconsin. It will likely impact that morning commute on Friday with gusty winds as well. We'll use future track in just a couple of moments when I come back a little bit later here in the half hour to give you a glimpse of what that weather system will look like, from rain to thunderstorms to the heavy wet snow. That's coming up in a while.
I'll see you then. Thanks, Alex. A Milton police officer has resigned after crashing into a house while off duty last month, according to their police chief. Officer Angel Harder has been charged with 1 count of operating under the influence, causing injury, and faces penalties for refusing to take an intoxication test after being arrested and driving too fast for conditions. A criminal complaint says Officer Harder crashed into the home January 17th at about 1 in the morning on South John Paul Road. A man and his son were in the room as a wall pushed the couch they were on several feet. And despite soreness and pain, the man was not taken to the hospital and no injuries were reported with his son. Officer Harder has resigned and is scheduled to be in court March 2nd.
And now we're bringing you breaking news at 4. The driver accused of killing 17-year-old Sasha Rosen in Madison has been charged with second-degree reckless homicide.
51-year-old Kathleen Borgwart was booked into the Dane County Jail Monday morning after a crash on South Park Street that killed Rosen while he was on his way to school. Police say video evidence showed speed was a significant factor in the crash. In a criminal complaint, police say Borgwart was traveling at about 62 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. She faces 25 years in prison and up to $100,000 in fines. Borgwart is scheduled to appear in court March 30th.
And while Rosen's family continues to grieve, the school district wants to prevent other families from going through this. The district is changing its bus routes, including the one on South Park Street where Rosen died.
The district hopes that updated bus routes will keep students safer. Tanisha Shaw shows us.
Park Street has become a behavior problem, right? It's a high-speed zone. There's a lot more traffic.
Scott Shehack is the executive director of building services for the Madison School District. He told me that tragedy is prompting change.
We have added 3 additional bus stops from South Beltline all the way to West Washington Avenue, east of Park Street. So we are now transporting 20 additional middle school students that were walking across Park Street to James C. Wright Middle School.
Now elementary and middle school students that attend school here in Madison will not have to cross South Park Street to get to school.
Some of them were walking, some of them were not, but we are making sure they now have transportation to and from school.
This stretch of South Park Street is now an unusually hazardous transportation location for Madison schools, impacting bus routes for roughly 20 students. This change comes after police say 51-year-old Kathleen Borgward hit and killed 17-year-old Alexander Rosen with a car near Burr Oak and South Park Street.
We all kind of woke our eyes up that morning into a tragic event, and it's something we can't take back, right? But there are things that we can do to keep monitoring and looking.
Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. The City of Madison's Transportation Commission is having a meeting tonight, and South Park Street is on that agenda.
Across the state, families continue to feel the weight of increased property taxes.
That's right. Schools are also feeling that same pressure and are asking for help. Our Nash Dara spoke to district leaders of one county in need of funding relief.
Brady and Sarah, 6 districts in Sauk County, along with dozens of other schools in Wisconsin, are asking for a funding compromise as the state's $4 billion surplus aided $0 to K-12 public schools. The amount of money a school is rewarded by the state is based off of the equalized valuation of the district. The richer your area is on paper, the less money you receive in school funding. However, these valuations were based off of a formula Wisconsin put in place decades ago, a formula that has had little to no change, now causing districts to make drastic decisions on program and salary spending.
There just isn't anything left to cut. We've cut over $1 million in our budget of actual spending over the past year. Most districts have had to kick building maintenance down the road, including our own. And we know that that's not good. That's not fiscally sound, but we cannot continue to cut any more people. We are bare bones right now.
Burkhalter also shared the revenue limit in which Reedsburg can spend per student is $11,000, where another district in the state can spend over $30,000, a gap that he says is unacceptable. Brady and Sarah, I will have more on this story tonight at 6.
All right, thank you so much, Nash. National Future Farmers of America Week is just around the corner, and 2 Wisconsin State FFA officers say it's about much more than farm fields and tractors. From the state capitol to local classrooms, students across Wisconsin are preparing to celebrate agriculture, leadership, and career success.
It's not your cows, sows, and plows, as we like to say, but it's so much more. We're really focusing on premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agriculture education. So while that agriculture tie is important, it's so much more than that, and really learning how to better yourself for not only your future, but for what you're doing right now.
And a great spokesperson there. FFA leaders say the organization is open to all students, whether they grow up on a farm or in the city, and connects them to a wide range of careers in agriculture, from science and technology to food and leadership. On Thursday, supporters are encouraged to donate on the Wisconsin FFA website to help the next generation of agricultural leaders.
Well, tonight, as News 3 Now continues to recognize Black History Month, we meet a young Madison real estate developer who is set to make his own history.
That's right. Park Lofts is rising along the 1200 block of Park Street, but many of the units in that building will provide new homes for a unique group of residents.
And the man behind it is using his own journey as his inspiration.
A lot of my life in the early stages was with my mom, in halfway houses, different organizations, YWCA, once she was released from prison. And so we kind of took that path and walked that walk together.
It's been a meteoric rise from a childhood in foster care to Madison real estate developer for 30-year-old Julian Walters.
Here will be the property management and the leasing office. Okay. In that far corner, we'll have a fitness center.
Being from this community, being a Black developer in this community where there's few, being raised on the South Side and having a development right here, people are going to be able to drive past this and see something and say, hey, I can be what I want to be.
He's the driving force behind Park Lofts. 44 units rising along Madison's South Park Street corridor. 11 of those homes will be set aside for those transitioning out of foster care. And it's much more than just a place to finally call home.
To be able to provide this space for them to grow and to have some sort of support is just it's unreal, and we're not taking that lightly. We want to make sure that they feel supported.
Each time he drives by, his dream inching closer to reality.
When I drive past it, I smile every time, because I know the work that went behind it, and I remember when it was just an infield lot, it was just grass. And so to see the vision come to fruition is beautiful. Once that 5th floor gets framed, we're rocking and rolling.
A vision more than just a building, a vision so that others can walk an easier path than he did not so long ago.
When you think about not having an adult or someone that you can count on to kind of lead you through those young years, someone needs to kind of help and step in. And if we can provide that and be a solution while providing housing for, the broader community as well, sign me up for it.
Such an impressive young man. Julian's company, Eminent Development, is partnering with Just Dane for support services, and Lutheran Social Services will be the property management partner.
The remaining 33 will be reserved for those making no more than 60% of Dane County's median income, and will feature studios and 1- and 2-bedroom units, and they hope to open it late summer or early fall.
All right, next on Live at 4, it might be the subject of a fun debate around the dinner table.
But one judge in Michigan had to turn it into an actual legal ruling, answering the age-old question of whether boneless wings are still wings. We'll show you his ruling after the break.
And also, Lisa Briggs with the Bruce Company is here in studio waiting to answer your plant questions. With the weather fluctuating like it has, knowing that it could be hard knowing the right course of action for all of your plants, send your questions and ask us on tips@channel3000.com.
And speaking of weather fluctuations, Alex joins us with the first warn forecast to show us this roller coaster week of weather.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
We are taking a live look at the Niagara River in New York, just near the falls. Now, the weather there is hovering around 32 degrees with some rain and snow. The area we're looking at may have been much higher about 12,000 years ago. The falls have moved over 7 miles upstream over the last 12,500 years.
Fun fact of the day?
I was going to say, now you know. Well, there are only 29 days, a much shorter span, until spring, giving you plenty of time to plan for gardening season.
Lisa Briggs with the Bruce Company is back to answer your plant questions. You can send those to tips@channel3000.com. How have you been enjoying our spring weather lately?
What do we call this? Fool's spring.
Fool's spring, fake spring, fall spring.
Yeah. Yes. I think that even though there are 29 days till the first day of spring, we probably have more time than that before we actually get to do some real outside gardening.
Real spring,
yeah. There are a few things you can do now, but
yeah.
Speaking of,
yes.
the first question we had was from Carrie asking, how could we start fertilizing and transplanting indoor plants now?
And yes, you can do that. Now the days are getting longer. If your indoor potted, your houseplants needed some refreshing with the soil, or if they need to be up potted into a larger pot, now is the time to do that. You just want to remember that you can go up 2 inches in pot size. So if your plant right now is in a 6-inch pot, you can go to an 8-inch, but you don't want to go bigger than that. And you could now start fertilizing with a gentle water-soluble fertilizer. And we like to say water 1 week, waters week 2, fertilize week 3. So you can just do that schedule.
That's handy. You can make a little song out of
water,
it.
Water,
it sounded like
it. Deborah wants to know, how do you get rid of gnats on or in the indoor plants?
Yeah, so we're talking about fungus gnats. They're very annoying. They have a very short lifespan, so even if you trap them or spray your plants with a gentle insecticide, there's still all sorts of stages of larvae and eggs that are in the soil. Fungus gnats are consuming the decaying matter in the soil, so that's where you need to treat them. There's a product called Mosquito Bits.
Oh.
It was developed to keep mosquitoes out of bird baths and fountains and that kind of thing. So it's completely non-toxic, so you can use it indoors. It's just a little granular thing. You can just sprinkle it on the top of your plants, and as you water, it takes the insecticide into the soil and will kill the larva, and as the new little eggs hatch, it will keep killing larvae until they're gone.
Yeah, it does work for you.
Yes, it does.
Mosquito Bits.
Mosquito Bits.
And then finally, Nancy says that she read somewhere that if you plant sweet peppers and hot peppers in your garden, you have to avoid cross-pollination. And how do you do that?
So Nancy, you don't have to avoid cross-pollination if you want the fruit. But if you are a seed saver, then yes, you have to do that. So if you're a person that wants to save the seeds, that's why you're growing them, you'd want to take a few, you'd want to pollinate on the plant and then protect a couple of those blossoms and let the fruit develop. That way the fruit will be true to the seed. If you're just growing peppers for your own personal use and you have some sweet ones and hot pepper and some hot ones, you don't have to worry about the varieties that way. Only if you're a seed saver.
So when you bite into a pepper, you won't get a surprise of, oh, this is hotter than I thought?
Well, I think what happens is when they cross-pollinate like that, the seed that comes from that fruit, the fruit is going to be the same, but the seed inside that fruit will have traits of both parents.
Interesting.
And so it might not be one or the other. It might be something completely different. So if you want to, say, grow a habanero and you want it to be a habanero and not mixed with a bell pepper, it's for the collecting of the seed. It doesn't have anything to do with the taste or the quality of the fruit that you're growing that year.
I feel like
Does
I
that
learned
make
a lot
sense?
just now.
I know.
It's a little confusing, but
no,
yes.
it isn't. Not at all, actually.
Yeah, it's just like if you have an apple and you have a delicious apple and you want to grow the seeds, that apple, because it has two parents, will not be the apple that you ate. It will be some other. It might be fabulous. It might be better. It might be kind of meh.
Kind of like us people.
I
don't know.
It gets traits from both of the parents.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank
Always
you,
good
Lisa.
to see you.
Yeah, exactly.
Science lesson.
Well, the First Warn Weather Team has been tracking another weather system on the way for over this week. Alex, what can we expect?
We can expect the potential for alert day conditions. I started talking about this yesterday, Jacob, yesterday as well. Thursday overnight going on into Friday for some wet, heavy snow, and this band is going to be very narrow. The best chance for that band of heavy, wet snow will be Madison and areas off towards the north and towards the west, and it impacts us right during that Friday morning commute for parts of the area. Let's track that using FutureTrack right now. Showers and a couple thunderstorms setting up from Madison areas to the south as we go into Thursday evening, becoming widespread as we go into Thursday evening and overnight. Southwest Wisconsin, by the time we get to midnight, that rain changes over to heavy wet snow. This is that heavy wet slushy variety stretching from Prairie du Chien to Richland Center to the Dells. I think is going to be the access point, the area that likely is going to see some of the heaviest snow set up from this, of perhaps several inches. By the time we get to the beginning of that morning commute, still seeing some heavy wet snow from I-39 down to Madison to Janesville and areas off towards the east. You throw in some winds gusting at times 30 to 40 miles per hour. You got some reduced visibilities that you're going to have to contend with Friday morning, and that's where we're keeping an eye out for the potential for alert day conditions if this continues to materialize in some of the weather projections and weather models that we're looking at. That best chance for heavy wet snow, Madison areas towards the north, towards the west. A small shift in this weather system can make a big difference in where that band of that slushy heavy wet snow is going to set up in southern Wisconsin, and weather models are flip-flopping quite a bit. We'll have a better eye on that as we get later into the evening as to where that band is likely going to set up in southern Wisconsin. But right now, Madison areas to the northwest, you stand the best chance. We all will see those gusty winds going into Friday morning. That's going to cause some reduced visibilities with that heavy wet snow. Not expecting blowing and drifting of snow because it will be of that heavy wet variety. 20s tonight to right around 30 for low temperatures. High temperatures as we go into Thursday. 40s to the north, right around 50 to the south on the warmer side or closer to the warmer side of that weather system. Once we get past this weather system, we move into the weekend. Saturday going on into Sunday, we'll see conditions right around normal for this time of year. Temperatures early next week climbing back up into the 30s, right around 40. So that's a few degrees above average for this time of year. Not seeing any major storms next week, but we really need to keep an eye out for tomorrow night going into Friday. This time of year going into March, we get a lot of water with these weather systems, and if the temperatures are just right, it can really squeeze out a decent amount of snow, but that band is usually very narrow and difficult to track.
Something you've been tracking closely. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. I know everyone's still reeling from our conversation about the integrity of peppers, but now the big question. Can a restaurant call boneless wings wings? A federal judge says the answer is yes. He threw out a lawsuit challenging the Buffalo Wild Wings menu, and he said that the lawsuit had no meat on its bones.
You gotta love this one. Who went to the, I don't know. The judge says most people understand the products are made of chicken breast. The lawsuit is from an Illinois man who claims he thought they were deboned chicken wings. Buffalo Wild Wings defended itself in a tweet. This year was the lawsuit that filed. It wrote, quote, "Our hamburgers contain no ham, and our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo."
Drama. As long as it has good sauce, I don't mind.
Right, exactly. All right, still to come at 4, we're following several people and several developing stories of the day in the afternoon sprint. It is 4:53 right now, and time for the afternoon sprint.
The driver accused of killing 17-year-old Sasha Rosen in Madison has been charged with second-degree reckless homicide. 51-year-old Kathleen Borgwart was booked into the Dane County Jail Monday morning. In a criminal complaint, police say Borgwart was traveling at about 62 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
A Milton police officer has resigned after crashing into a house while off duty last month, according to their police chief. Officer Angel Harder has been charged with 1 count of operating under the influence, causing injury. Faces penalties as well for refusing to take an intoxication test after being arrested and driving too fast for conditions.
The Rock County Sheriff's Office has arrested a caregiver for nearly 24 counts of abuse and neglect. On January 23rd, the Sheriff's Office was called regarding a possible battery to an adult with disabilities by a caregiver. They found probable cause to arrest 49-year-old Toyo Perez of Beloit. She faces roughly 20 charges.
And the First One Weather Team, we are continuing to track the potential for alert day conditions Thursday overnight going into Friday. For heavy wet snow, join me at Live at 5. We'll use Future Track to show you where that likely band of snow is going to set up.
Thank you, Alex. A look at what we're working on for News 3 Now at 5 after the break.
Coming up on News 3 Now at 5, we have developing news out of Middleton after a student was arrested for bringing an air pistol to school there. And we're bringing you the latest updates from a rescue operation underway in California after a deadly avalanche. Thank you so much for joining us on Live at 4. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. And you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.